What's up, guys? Today I'm making a silver eagle coin ring, size 11 and a half. It's going to be, we're going to display the tails out on this one. This is fresh from a tube. Very nice coin. Very pretty. So let's hammer at it, manipulate it, stretch it, reduce it, all that fun stuff, guys. All right, let's get going. So size 11 and a half, tails out. Let's see what size punch we're gonna use. Probably gonna go with a 9/16 punch. That will give us the best detail and look for this size. I have a self-leveling center punch, so we'll get a nice center punch out of this thing. Cover your ears because this is loud if you have headphones on. There's our little center plug. I'm making this coin ring for an eBay order, and the customer, like anybody would question, there's a lot of scams on eBay, so I totally back him questioning if the coin ring will look like the photos. So only he can answer that question after I'm done, but I'm pretty sure I'll get a positive review. So that's what we have left to work with. Old Dremel just broke. It just stopped working. Just decided, you know what? I'm done working. So we'll use the old wired Dremel. I'm going to clean that inside hole out. You can see it's a little choppy in there. Use a little sandpaper on this guy too. Some 2000 grit and some 3000 grit. Just to kind of make that center hole as perfect as possible. It's the part that gets manipulated the most, stretched and whatnot. So you want to make sure that there's no splits or cracks. And to avoid that, we're going to make it nice and sanded down. been a while since I've done a silver eagle. Do a ton of Morgans. I have a feeling once I post a pic of this, I'll get a few orders in. Tends to be how it works. Get a nice photo of this thing and show it off on a few Facebook pages, and pretty soon you got people wanting it. There's a little steel wool now on that inside hole. My homeboy. Partner in crime. Alright. See how shiny that is now in the center? No choppy cut marks. So I think we're ready to go. One of the other questions the gentleman asked that purchased it was an original pure silver. Just wanted to make sure it was not like a fake coin. And to show you, we're going to heat it up because that's what we have to do before we start folding it. Anything that's not pure silver will turn colors instantly from the heat. Not instantly, but pretty quickly. 90%, 925, anything like that. Anything that's not pure silver or gold, basically, changes color. So we're going to be heating this up, and you will notice that it will not change color. It'll remain basically just like this. If it does change color, then we got a fake. But I just bought these today from the coin shop that I know they're not selling fakes out of, so I know we're good to go. But there are a lot of fakes out there, so be careful. Be careful who you buy from. Make sure they're a reputable jeweler or coin dealer or whatnot. The sucker's been fully heated and it didn't change any colors. All right. So tails out. Let's rock this. Oh, buddy. You want to work with me on this? Let's move you over like that. There you go. There you go, buddy. So I'm going to put it in this die heads up. Run a series of combs through the center there. Open this thing up. So that's one cone. I'm going to move up to a bigger cone and continue that process. Buddy, do you think you can make a ring? You've watched me make a bunch of these. You think you could do one? Then we'll go up another cone. My goal is to have it suck up to the cone. That's when I know I'm done. And I'm going to go to the next size die and finish this process. Just half a push and we'll probably be there. Boom. So now we are sucked up to the cone. Can't go any further with this step. So now I'm going to stretch it and do the next step, which will be shaping. So we're going to stretch this thing up. Our end goal is an 11 and a half. I'm going to stretch this to about probably a 15 or 16. So right now it's about a 12. So we're going to stretch it to about down here. Heat it up first. Anytime you're making a coin ring, you want to make sure you're heating the coin. It's called annealing, and that allows the metal to be manipulated a little easier. It kind of softens it up. And of course, as it cools down, it goes back to its hardened state. But it's pretty amazing what can be done with proper tools and knowledge, you know. I take good pride in my rings. Alright, so I'm going to use a little bit of this towel to help protect the inside detail of the coin, because the inside detail is just as important as the outside in my mind. This is in the way, sorry, I can't do much about that, but we're just going to be working right here for a minute. What this tool does is it has one of these inside of it, and as I pull, it goes this way, and as I push back, it goes that way. And these splines on here, there's 8 splines, they'll open up as it comes this way, and that's how you stretch. That's how you stretch a coin or a ring. We're at a 14 and a half. I think that's good. That'll work. So now we're going to shrink it. It doesn't make any sense to stretch it and then shrink it, but my only goal there was to stretch out the middle section a little bit. I needed that part to be a little bit stretched, and that's where we got. So now we're going to reduce it. Stretch and reduce. Stretch and reduce. Now we're going to protect the outside detail of the coin by using Teflon plumber's tape. Give it several layers. It works as like a plastic or rubber medium between the two metals colliding. So as we squish this down, it won't affect the detail on the coin, which is important. So I'm going to use a series of Swedish dies, which have an 11-degree and I'm going to put it in top first, or top up, the big side up. So as it pushes down in here, it's going to shrink the top to be closer to where these bottoms are. As you can see right now, it's got a big slope to it. We're gonna reduce that quite a bit. continually go smaller on the rods that I'm using to push this down. You can see from the press down tape what's happening there. It's starting to press this side down to be close to where the bottom is. So we're no longer sitting like this, we're sitting more like this. And we're pretty close. I'm going to put a little more tape on it just to continue to protect that outside detail. Go to the next Swedish die size. Protect that reeded edge. Might be good. Let's see where we're sitting size-wise right now. It's about a 13. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper in here. Not much, just a half a push. Alright, so this is where I add a extra reed to the cut side. So this is something that I'm able to do for my customers that a lot of ring makers aren't able to do due to the fact that the tool is pretty rare and they no longer make them. So this is our cut side. We want to add a reed to it to make it, this side has a cool reed. So we're going to put a reed on this side. Let me go ahead and kind of hit it with some sandpaper real quick to prepare it. I'm just going to use a little 2000 grit. Just kind of shine it up a little. We're going to press it in the re-reader. After that, so I'm just kind of prepping the metal. And a little steel wool. Alright, it looks good. So let's add a reed. This is that tool. It has a reed pattern. So I basically just set this on there and press it down. Protect the other reed. I'm going to rotate it a quarter turn each time and give it another press. My press is a little bit off. So I want to make sure that I'm hitting all the high and low points. So there we go with the new reed. It's perfect. It's beautiful. As you can see, all the detail on this coin is still very much intact, both inside and out. Now we need to shape it. do that, I'm going to wrap it in some more Teflon tape on my lap here. It's the quick place to do it. You can do it on the table, but just knock it out on my lap real quick here. All right, we're wrapped, we're protecting that outside detail. Now we're going to shape this thing. Alright, I'm going to have to use 2 dies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press it down in this die, the big side first, just to get it close to where this is. And if you see my fingernails, look, oh, they don't look too bad today. I was staining wood and there's just mass dark underneath my nails for the last 2 days. Looks good today. It looks like showers and stuff are working, but I'm just going a little bit at first. And you can see that press that side down, the top. So it's getting more ring shaped. Let's see where we are size wise so we know how far we have to go. So it's about a 12.5. Our end goal is an 11.5, so I'm going to shrink this down to about a 10.5, which makes no sense to you guys, but there's a method to that madness. And you will see that method here shortly. All right. So we're at go about a size and a half, I think. That might be it for that side. Turn around and do this side, and then we'll see where we're at. All right. So we're at 10.5. I think I'm going to go down to a 10. End goal's an 11. So we're going to shrink it down just a tad bit more. I'm going to actually take this tape off and inspect it first just to see if our shape is going good. Looks like this left side here is a little bit bigger than this side right now. So we're going to shrink this side down to match up with this side. I wouldn't have seen that if I didn't take the tape off. Need some more tape. So it's actually like a 9.5, but that should be fine. I'm gonna hit this other side just a tad bit. Then we'll get to sizing, the sizing portion. So, this should be shaped properly at this point. We might have to press the one side down a little bit more after we see what it looks like, but it looks perfect. So shape-wise, we're good. We got a cool ring shape. It's a nice fat tire design. Details all great. Now, the reason we shrunk this down so small, our end goal is a 10.5. Right now we're at 11.5. Right now we're at a 9.5. There's a ton of metal on this reeded side, the original reeded side. It hasn't been shrunk or stretched or anything yet, so it's pretty much just all original. This side's a lot thinner, and you can see looking through the coin that there's a lot more metal on this side. So we're going to reduce that by using a tool called a deburring tool. It's basically just going to hit this. There's a rim there that would be very uncomfortable if you wore it all day and you took your ring off. You would just have a ring around your finger where that rim would be grabbing it. It's very uncomfortable. So we're going to use a deburring tool to remove some of that. And you can see there's a shaving there, and you can see the shiny part, the little shiny part up top near the reed. That's what we're taking off. We're just taking that little spot off. We're not touching any of the detail of the inside of the ring. And you can see we're taking off quite a bit. There's still quite a bit to take off, but I'll show you. It's getting closer. We're at a 10.5. So that was a whole size that we took off from taking that reed off. Now we got one more size left. No longer feel the big reed, so it'll fit comfortably when worn. Alright, let's see where this puts us. Half size away. I think that might be it. Just a little bit more. Boom. I just want to make sure there's no lip left. There's a tiny bit of lip. And we will just go a couple more rotations hitting that spot where the lip is. Perfect. All right, so we are sized. Now we need to make, and I'll show you Now when you look through from the other side, you don't see a closed up end here. It's not closed up. Took quite a bit of metal off there. You can see that top spot. That's where we reduced on the inside. So now we just need to make this pretty. So I need to sand up the inside here. My old trusty Dremel tool. I'm sad it broke. It was nice having two Dremel tools at my disposal, because I have to use a few different size sanding wheels, and it's nice to not have to swap them out all the time. But we are. And it gets really hot with friction. Like really hot. Really hot. It's hot. Alright, a couple hits with the sandpaper on the inside. And again, I'm only hitting that part that we deburred the edge. I'm not actually sanding the inside of the coin ring, because that would hurt the detail. Again, it's all about protecting the detail of the coin. I want the customer to get it and then look at it and say, holy moly, like every bit of detail is still on that coin. Any edit or read, what? So we are pretty much done making this ring. Now we need to make it look awesome. And to do that, I'm going to put an antique finish on this thing, which is going to make it pop, make the detail pop. These look nice, you know, polished up and whatnot. But when you do a little antique finish, it gives depth to the detail. So for me to do that, I need to go in the kitchen and just, it's a process that uses liver of sulfur, a sulfur byproduct, and with hot water it chemically reacts to the metal, turning it an antique look. And I'm going to do that off camera, but I will be right back to show you the difference from here to there. So this is what it looks like before we go to give it the antique finish. You notice that it's kind of hard to read anything. I'm sure if you get up close enough you can read stuff. But once we add this finish and give it a quick polish, you'll see why we do it. So give me 1 minute, maybe a minute. right. So now has like an antique finish to it. You can see like there's some, it's mostly brown, this kind of brownish, purplish hues coming through. Some purples and greens and blues. Grab some new steel wool. And let's make this thing pop. So this is the original reeded edge. This is the added reeded edge. Now I'm going to hit the inside. You can see the In God We Trust. Flip over this way, you'll see the Liberty. And then we'll hit the outside. And there we go. Got United States of America. Roll it over. One ounce fine silver. $1. So I will get some pictures of this for you, sent out to you. That is her. She's a beaut. 11.5. Thanks for watching. Peace.